Good evening. How are we? Oh, still hot as. Felt pretty cool today to talk about why a lot of tradies will struggle in business. A core reason is always finances, and that's always the surface reason. But it's pretty predominant to talk about because that's the biggest reason why a lot of us struggle, right? We're working really hard, we aren't earning the money that we want to be earning, and it kind of just feels like we're on this snowball effect where the harder we work, the more money we spend, and we end up in the same position but just having worked harder. I recall a lot of times along my business journey how I would earn more money as a subcontractor, and then I would start my own business and I would earn a bit more money at the beginning. I'd be getting my own jobs and working with my own clientele, and then eventually I'd get to a point where I would have to increase either marketing, ad spend, or whatever it might be, and I would end up feeling the restriction, feel really restricted around my finances, and end up in a position where I have less money, but with more struggle and responsibility. And I know a lot of business owners out there, trade business owners, that experience this same challenge. It's originally a subcontractor earning $600, $700 a day, pretty decent money, to then running a business, having staff, but ending up earning less money. Doesn't really make sense. You do all this work, you jump into the journey of business, and then you're earning less money. So I thought I'd jump on here because I've seen a lot of guys struggling, and I'm like, well, let's try and break it down. Let's sort of break it down, what's happening, how it happens, and how you've ended up in this spot. So the first thing that sort of comes to my mind is like that transition, that first transition from subcontractor to starting your own business is always a very exciting journey. It's like, fuck yeah, you're starting to attract your own clientele. And then you're ending up, depending on where you end up in business, you find yourself with more responsibility and less money. I've experienced this, and I've had to sit down and review my profit margins once again and actually break down the cost of everything to make sure that I'm actually profiting enough to make this all worth it, really. Now, for me personally, the biggest core driver of business is freedom. A lot of people will talk about, oh, I do this for finances and I do this for financial freedom, but the further you go down that rabbit hole of, yeah, I want to earn more money, I want to earn more money, I want to earn more money, you begin to bring on more workload and you put yourself under more stress, actually creating way less freedom. I literally drive so much freedom into my business. My first question is, will this bring in more freedom into my business now? So when I've expanded this year, I've gone from bringing a staff member in to bringing a staff member in to bringing on marketing to bringing on this, and it's like, okay, cool. Well, then I've had to sort of see where my business was at, and I'm like, well, actually, hold on. I need to trim some fat here because I've actually overexerted myself and bring on more responsibility into my business. And now I'm feeling more stressed. I'm feeling more stressed, and now I have to make more money in order to pay for this and pay for this marketing and pay for this. And I'm just adding responsibilities for the same amount of profit. Why? It just doesn't make sense. And this is the way that we've taught to run business. It's like the harder you work, the more that you can bring in, and the harder I worked and the more money that I brought in, the more stress I brought in, which made me less connected to my partner. Got a fucking kid on the way, feeling disconnected to my kid that's not even here yet. And I'm like, what am I doing? So I had to really ask myself and pull back what's actually going on in my business. So the reality of it is, I say this to a lot of people, and less is actually more. Less is actually more. Strip back the business, pull it apart, and sort of understand what's actually going on. Ask yourself, where am I making money? Where am I losing money? What's taking up a lot of my time? All these sorts of things. So let's try and break it down a little bit. What is them like? You're going to have phases through business. So you're going to have your first initial phase where you're just solely on the tools, right? You're solely on the tools, working pretty much 7 till 7 every day. Get up early, go meet the clientele, go meet the trades, do all this sort of shit. And then you come home, you might go to the gym, you might have dinner, and then you're jumping on the computer and you're doing everything, right? It's very a forceful place to be. It's very physical, tangible work that needs to be done. The next step in your business phase is sort of like, okay, well, let's bring someone on and let's sort of take a step back. When you do that, you've now got staff expenses, you've obviously got marketing expenses because you need more work, and you've probably got a shit ton of other expenses that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. So it's like, okay, cool. Notice what is actually required, and then notice the steps that you need to take in order to get it to a position where you can then eventually jump off the tools, for instance, like I did. I literally had to be like, okay, I'm no longer touching a tool. No longer touching a tool, and that's just an identity that I decided to be. And then I stopped touching a tool. Any minor inconvenience, I once would go fix up myself, I'd go do this, and now it's like, well, how do I solve this problem by not doing it, right? So you're like, okay, well, I'll bring this person in. You bring that person in, that now costs you money. Okay, now we're starting to see a bit of a snowball effect here. As you expand in your business, you're no longer giving up your time, you're giving up your money. And this is where it really comes down to like systemizing your business, making it run really smoothly so that you're not losing money instead of time. Fuck, this was like a massive wake up call for me. I would literally be fucking just doing my thing and something would go wrong and I'd fix it on site like that. And if a job took an extra day or two, I wasn't losing any money because I was doing it all myself. So now when I have someone else do it and I have one of my fully qualified chippies doing it, it's $700 a day, gone. $700 a day, gone, just like that, in that moment. If there's a mistake or something that I hadn't done properly or something had been a setback. So bringing it back, I sit down and I start looking at my expenses and I look at the business and I'm like, okay, cool, what's going on? What am I doing here? How am I doing this? How much is this costing me? And throughout this year, I've lost heaps of money along the way through learning. Through growing pains is what I like to call it. Through growing pains, I've learned, well, I'm losing money here. I have to increase my prices here. I have to increase my prices here. Now, I know a lot of people will be challenged by the idea of just increasing their prices. So let's break down profit margins just for the sake of breaking down profit margins. So let's say you're earning 1 mil and then you've got 10% profit margins, 15, 20%, 25%, all right, and then 30. Let's say you're bringing in $1 million worth of rev and you're someone that's putting on a 10% profit margin because that's what you've been told that you can do. You've got 10% profit margin, you're earning 100K. These are just easy numbers, right? Just so it makes sense. 100K. 150K. 200K. 250K. 300K. My first question to you is, what have you been told is the right profit margin for your business? What is the right profit margin for your business? Is it 10%? Is it 15%? Most people sit in this bracket. They sit in the 10 to 15% profit margin. It's like, I know big builders, they're like, well, you can't charge more. It's like, okay, fair enough. So you do $1 million worth of work at a profit margin of 10K. At 10%, you're gonna make 100 grand. That's $1 million worth of work. Where I'm coming from as well, so just so I can explain this more, is like, this is like company / business. I can spell business, right? This isn't on the tools. This is where you're starting to come from a place of, I'm now running the show. I am now the conductor of my business. I'm no longer touching a tool. I've jumped ahead of the gun here, but I just want to break down the importance of, if you're not actually doing the work yourself and it's not time that you're losing, it's actually money, these numbers become really important. And another add-on to this, I hate the numbers game. I hate like following and tracking and doing all this sort of shit. But it's really important to get a good breakdown of what actually your business is. Because it's like, okay, well, this is actually how much I'm earning. This is where I'm spending this. This is where I'm spending this. This is where I'm spending this. Blah, 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 blah. So, firstly, if you're doing $1 million worth of work, it's a decent amount of work to be doing in a year for most people. Let's break it down into like 20 grand bathrooms. Let's say you're doing 4 bathrooms a month. 4 bathrooms a month? Yeah, about 4 to 5 bathrooms a month. At 20 grand a month, you're at 1 mil. It's a lot of work at a 10% profit margin to be earning 100 grand. $100,000 and you're project managing 50 to 60 bathrooms a year. Let's go 50 bathrooms. 50 bathrooms a year you're managing for an $100,000 profit. Fuck that. Just for clarification, I sit at the 20 to 25% profit margin because that's where I like to sit. I know a lot of people do 30%. I don't really know many people pushing it past 30%. But yeah, 25%, 20 to 25% is my profit margin. Now, it's easy for me to be like, well, yeah, I'm earning really good money at 200 to 250K a year doing $1 million in rev. And it's like, yeah, sure, like that is good money. But then let's break it down another step. Now, I'm kind of want to call out a bit of bullshit here because I speak to a lot of tradies and they're like, well, yeah, I earn this much money and I'm like 25% profit margins, right? And then they'll be like I'm going to use the bathroom as example. And they're like, well, yeah, my bathroom costs 17K and then I times it by, I don't know my calculator. I'm just going to do it here. So I do 17,000 divided by 0.75. So we do 17,000 divided by 0.75 equals 22,666. Profit of 5,666. That's the profit margins of a bathroom. Now, what a lot of people will do is like, okay, cool. That's how much it costs. It cost me $17,000 to build this bathroom for you, to get all the trades in and do all that sort of work. My management fee is $5,666. That's me knowing all the trades, knowing all this sort of shit. That's at a 25% profit margin. Now, this is where I've fallen into the trap before as well, is how much of that 17K have you allowed in like building expenses? So like, okay, cool. That's what it actually costs. That 17K is your trades, it's your skip bins, your materials, waterproofers, tilers, literally like everyone covered. That's what it costs to build the bathroom. Now you go, well, what did the lead cost you? The lead cost me, let's say $800. Cool, so that's already $800 less. And then you go, okay, cool. Any mistakes? Let's say there's $500 of mistakes, and that's like being very good. And then you're like, okay, cool, but what about my monthly expenses? What's my CRM? So like, let's say you're spending $100 on CRM a month, $400, so it's like $100. Before you know it, the extras are like $2,000. I can break it down more, but I can't be bothered. So you've got $2,000 that is unaccounted for, which is literally drawn off your profit margin, which brings it down to 366 profit margin. I don't know if you can read that from there. So now someone that presumably thinks that they're doing a 25% profit margin on their bathrooms, Hasn't included leads, mistakes, your CRM, maybe you've got like some insurances that you haven't accounted for, and all things that you should be charging for. You've now gone to, I don't even know what the profit margin of that is. Let's just say you've gone to like a 15% profit margin now. And you've dropped, like, these numbers add up. When you're doing 50 bathrooms a month, that $2,000 per bathroom that it's usually going to cost you, including your leads and mistakes and all that sort of stuff, that ends up being 100 grand. So that 250 grand that we first started with now becomes 150 grand. Right? We've gone from your 250 back up to your 150. And then imagine you did that here. You'd be going to $50,000 profit from $1 million business. $1 million business, 50K. I know I'm chucking some mayo on this for the sake of chucking some mayo on this, but it really is, it can make so much sense in this game. Shit goes wrong on site all the time. There's always setbacks, there's always delays, there's always this, and this. But I want you to start getting clearer on what your numbers actually are. Now, I use like a platform, I use BuildExact to do all my quotes. Now, over an extended period of time, after many failed and successful jobs, like profit-wise, I've learned and started to break down, okay, well, each individual item costs this, and these are all the extras that are included. Now, when I fill out my measurements and the amount of work that's filled in and everything, I know exactly what that bathroom's gonna cost. Now, give or take some mistakes, that's fine, that shit's gonna happen. But it's really important to be very appropriate on the numbers, being like clear on what the numbers are per job, so that you actually know what your actual income is, your actual profits are. Because fuck rev. Oh, cool, I did $2 million rev. But like, how much money did you actually take home? Right? It's like this year, I set my margins at like 20 to 25%, usually sits at the 23% mark. And I'll probably do close to 2 million, but I'm not walking home with $400,000 in my pocket. Right? What I broke down was, I pay myself, say, 13K, roughly, on a wage. And then I broke down like my CRM, my admin, my staff. I broke down, what else did I break down? Like my advertising, my tax. Like a tax is another thing. Like traders always get themselves in a fucking shitload of tax debt. And I broke it all down. And like, before I knew it, I went from like a 23% profit margin to a probably like 13. That quickly. Now, I fooled myself into thinking, okay, cool, well, you're actually earning 23% on each job. But then I'm like, well, actually, okay, well, I've got my designer included now. I didn't increase my prices. There's $1,300 per job gone, right? And then I've got my insurances that I didn't originally add in. It's like they're paying for the insurance, not you. You shouldn't have to pay for their insurance. That is included, right? So I started breaking everything down to give me insane levels of clarity. It's really fucking important to do that. Now, however you want to break down that 17K, whatever, if you want to use cheaper staff or whatever, I don't. My bathrooms cost more because I use a higher quality trade and I do things right the first time, so there is less mistakes. But I had to take a serious look at my income and be like, okay, fuck, well, I've actually dropped from like a 23% profit margin to like a 13 to 15% profit margin like that without even thinking about it. So what do I do next? So I had to sort of sit down and be like, okay, well, what's the next step for my business? And it's like, the next step for your business is up my prices. Now, this is where all of this even goes even deeper around the mindset around money. So firstly, the important thing is to get super fucking clear on the income, what you're actually earning, right? So that you can forecast for the future, sort of like your profits, and you want to know how much money is actually coming in, you want to know where it's going. And to be real, like, this shit is so fucking important to run a company and business, because if you're not on top of all of this sort of shit, you're going to fucking end up so far behind that you're going to shoot yourself so much further in the foot than you were as a subby. Fuck, like, honestly, if you're not getting on top of this shit and you don't want to get on top of this shit, go work for someone. Go work for someone, because it's like, business is a fucking journey, and you got to ride the highs and the lows, and it's a roller coaster, and it's fucking fun, and it's amazing, and it's awesome, it's all these things. But also, if you don't have the clarity and the guidance and the mentorship to sort of be like, okay, well, where can I improve here? Where can I improve here? Where can I improve here? Your business will fucking just plummet. And this is, a lot of people aren't even considering this sort of shit. And their business is, fuck, most businesses don't profit for the first 2 years. Most, like, I don't even know the number, but I'm pretty sure it's above 50% of businesses fail in the first 12 months. They're not breaking this shit down. They're not understanding their profit margins. It's like, fuck, going back to this 150K and you lose that 100K, you're earning 50K for the year. But you're like, well, I'm earning $1 million in rev, so I'm putting money here, and I'm putting money here, and I'm putting money here, and putting money here. You're spending way more than you actually have in your account, and you bankrupt yourself. It's so much easier to do when you lose money instead of time doing it yourself. This is for the business owner that's beginning to step away from the tools and really wants to break down business and really wants their business to be successful, and wants your business to have this level of freedom, this level of internal freedom, where you're not stressing about this sort of money, right? You're a bit more free flowing in your business. You're just like, yeah, cool. No, I get it. I'll lose some money here. That's fine, but I'll make it here. I'll do this. I know what my forecasts are. I know what my actual numbers are, so that I can be clear on where I'm going. But most blokes aren't. And I know so many fucking trade business owners that they literally, I know I'm saying literally, they literally bullshit themselves into thinking that they're making 250 grand a year off 1 mil, but they're only earning 100 to 130K. I know. So then what also happens, right? And this is another fucking thing. It's like, okay, cool. We're at the guys that are like bullshitting themselves. They go, or not even bullshitting themselves. Let's say you've got the guys that are earning 130 a year off $1 million rev. They're like, well, I want to make 300K. Let's fucking take it to $3 million rev. They have to triple the amount of work in order to get to 300K. Whereas if you just increased your profit margins and broke down your business, you could be earning 200 to 250K off of 1 mil instead of 300K off 3 mil. What would you rather? And this is why it's like, revenue is bullshit. Who gives a fuck about revenue? I would much rather be doing $1 million of rev at $200,000 than $3 million worth of work at $300,000. People pursue this number like it's a grandiose thing. Revenue's all from your ego. It's like, oh, I fucking make this much money. It's like, yeah, how much is actually sitting in your fucking bank though? Tell me that. Because it's like, there's some bloke that's chilling on 1 mil, earning 200K, versus one guy that's stressed out of his fucking eyeballs at 3 million for 300K. We're about to go on a tangent. I'm just like, I'm feeling it, So then I guess the next question is like, okay. The first question is, why aren't you charging more? What do you feel when I say charge more? Like, think about it. I want you to just like consider to yourself for a second. I want you to sit in and be like, if I charge more, what might happen? Listen to the shit that comes up. He's like, oh, I can't charge more because then people won't want to do the work with me. Fair enough. Oh, I can't do this because of this. Well, it's like I'm going to lose my work. I got employees. I got this and I got that and I got this and I got this. I just want you to listen and just notice all the bullshit stories that come up in your head and really just listen to them. And that's okay. It's okay to have those voices. It's okay to feel the nerves and the stress and the panic of all these sort of things, because that's what you've been told. This is what we've been conditioned to believe, is that you have to work really hard in order to achieve something. When I'm here to tell you, it's not. It doesn't have to be like that. Now, there's work involved and there's effort involved, but I can tell you firsthand, the team that I've built and the company that we run is fucking pretty, it's a bit of a piss take. It's very, very cruisy. I'll be walking my dog at the park and there's a couple of other blokes that walk. They're like, oh, what have you done today, mate? Nothing. And I'm like, yeah, nothing. I was fucking sitting in the sun today. I was sitting by the fire, just chilling. Because business can be that much. I have literally designed my business in order for me to just cruise. I only need to work 2 to 3 days a week. 1, because I have incredible staff, but 2, because I believe in myself enough to be able to charge this, because I know the service that we provide, for 1. And I also know there's an infinite amount of work out there for us. There is so much there's 12 trillion dollars worth of work in Australia or some shit like that. That's what the industry's worth. And there's $120 billion worth of work going around in Australia at once. Or once a year, sorry. $120 billion of work a year. I can find $2 million or $3 million at 25 to 30% profit margins on top of everything. So the big thing about upping your prices is you have to, 1, believe in yourself. You have to have belief systems around that it's actually a possibility to do it. One way to do that is to look at companies that are doing it, right? Take note of what we do, right? Take note of what we do. Take note of how I run my business. A company that's doing, I think it's $18 to $20 million a year, Smarter Bathrooms. Look at what they're doing. They're charging 60 grand a bathroom. 60 grand a bathroom. It's I don't charge that much. I don't need to charge that much to make my fucking 25% margin. But they're doing it. So why can't you? Now there's probably a number of reasons why that comes up, but just try it. Lean into the discomfort. Lean into the fear of charging more and feeling what that feels like, because it's it is possible for you. It is possible for you. But leading into this next step, right? It's okay, cool. Well, I want to increase my prices. I've tried it and it's not working. What can I do in order to do that? And then that's when it's okay, well, what is your company? What is your company? Would I be able to look up and find it? Would I be able to see what your values are? Would I be able to see the sort of work that you're doing? Do you have an online presence? Do you have a brand? Are you showcasing the work that you do? Belief, self-worth, the easiest way to increase your prices. The next step in order to do that and grow even further is online presence, brand awareness, building an online portfolio, doing all these sort of things where you can showcase who you are online without having to actually meet people. Oh my God, the possibilities are fucking endless right now. That's a whole nother training, breaking down online presence and doing all that sort of shit. I'm not going to get into it today. But the main reason that I'm bringing all this up is it's all possible for you. It's all possible if you let it. You can turn your $1 million business from a 100K profit into a 200K profit straight away. You can literally start increasing your prices from this moment. But the only thing that's stopping you from doing that right now is your fear. So once again, listen, lean into that fear and push through the discomfort to increase your prices and see what happens. And if it's not working, I would encourage you to start looking deeper into why people don't trust you. You've got online presence, you've got authority, right? Being a representative brand, showcasing the work. People need to trust you in order for you to charge more, because once people trust you, then they will start paying you more. So lean in, try new things. If you want to dissect this a little bit more, I'm going to set up a Telegram group where I talk about all this sort of shit and we break it down. There'll be a link below. Join it and we'll chat soon. Thanks so much, team, for listening. Have a good one.